Today I'm going to teach you how to perform Bulgarian split squats correctly so you feel strong and stable. You will no longer rely on ineffective hacks to find that front foot position, you won't feel wobbly and weak, you won't experience any knee or lower back pain. We're going to resolve all those issues today so that you can perform Bulgarian split squats with absolute confidence. Let's jump straight into the setup and address the first point of confusion, where to place that front foot. Now, I've seen a couple of methods circling around. One is to extend that front leg, stand up and go from there. The other method is kind of 3 pigeon steps like so, and to go from there. Now, they're both different for me and not ideal, and that might be true for you too. So here's the guiding principle. When you perform your Bulgarian split squat, you want to feel your whole front foot being loaded from start to finish. If your foot is too far forward, your weight will shift to your heel. If you're too close to the bench, you will feel your weight shift to your toes. So we want to find that sweet spot. And to do that, we can use this 3-step method, and then we can go down and up and see, do we feel that whole front foot? If not, we can shift a little bit forward and back from that until we find the sweet spot. That's it. That's your guiding principle for the front foot. Now moving on to the back foot. We want to have laces down, we want to be narrow stanced, okay, so hip width, and we want to make sure that the ankle joint is lined up with the edge of the bench. That way the foot can wrap around and I can get that back knee to the ground without being restricted. If the foot is too far back, you're going to smash your shin into the bench. That's not going to be very comfortable. If you're too far forward, you're going to be quite wobbly because you've got no stability. So again, we want laces down. We want a little bit of pressure through the top of the foot, okay? Apply a little bit of force, and we want that ankle joint lined up with the edge of the bench so that when we squat down and up, again, that foot can wrap around and we're unrestricted to go through that full range of motion. That's foot position. Let's now move on to the execution and address the next major point of confusion, which is torso angle. So, in this start position, we want to be nice and upright. We want to make sure that the ribs and hips are connected. Just by taking that leg back, we're going to find that the pelvis might dump forward slightly and we're in a bit of an open scissor posture. So think like you're trying to read a belt buckle to tuck the pelvis, think ribs down. Now we can apply a little bit of a brace, okay, bit of core stability to lock that torso position. Now for the descent, we want to be a little bit hinged forward, just like in any squat, okay? So if we're doing a Bulgarian split squat with too much of an upright torso, then you can see me wince there. It's not going to be very comfortable. I've got too much weight going through the back leg. You might feel some back knee pain. It's very quad dominant and it doesn't engage the glutes, right? This is the strongest muscle in the body. If we're too hinged forward, it's going to be very hip glute dominant, but we're not going to engage the quads very well. So again, we need to find a sweet spot. And if you think, oh, maybe I should do that deliberately, I would say no again, because if you're not well positioned, then you're not going to be very stable and strong, so you're going to get less gains. So being too hinged, you might find your back overworking, being too upright. Again, both positions are not that comfortable, so you can't load that leg heavy. So here's the cue I like to give. In that position here, we're going to imagine like the pelvis is a bucket of water, and we want to spill 20% of the water out the front of the bucket and then right the bucket on the return. So let me go back down and show that again. I'm starting upright, but from here, I'm going to hinge the hips slightly, okay, spilling water out the front, squat down, I've got the whole front foot loaded, and right now my quads and my glutes are working equally. This is a very strong position, and I'm going to reverse the root on the way up. That is key, reversing the root, okay? So we're not now coming up like this. We're not coming up by leading with the chest. We're coming up in the same way we went down, okay? So the hip leads and we tuck that pelvis so it's back connected to the rib cage. That is a very strong position for the Bulgarian split squat. And now that I've gone through that, let's put it together with a real-time demo. Right, I'm going to do 5 reps, reasonably heavy, nearly half body weight in each hand. This is your chance to watch those steps in action. Also pay attention to my breathing, and I'll talk about that at the end. Okay, I already know where my front foot should be. I know that it's the front of the laces lined up with that line on the mat. Let's go. Okay, just 5 reps there. Don't want to keep you too long, but hopefully that was a good opportunity to see exactly how I put those steps together. Now, a note on tempo and breathing. Tempo, you see nice and controlled on that eccentric lowering phase, a slight pause, and then reversing the route on the way up, okay? We need tension on the leg. We don't want to fly through the reps. We need to perform it with control. Breathing. You know that Bulgarian split squats are challenging for respiration, right? You feel quite gassed at the end. We need to make sure we get good airflow so that we don't gas out and we don't fatigue too quickly. So breathing is very important. And here's the way I think about this. When I'm in that start position, I have a very light brace, okay, to keep the core engaged. Then a very strong inhale through the nose. That is how we should breathe when muscles are lengthening under tension. Okay, get lots of airflow for good oxygen transfer. At the bottom, a really strong brace, okay, and then a relaxed exhale on the return. That is how we find that sweet spot between bracing or stability and respiration, so we get good gas exchange. And again, we don't fatigue too quick, we don't gas out, we make sure that the legs are what fail. On to troubleshooting. Knee pain, low back pain, and restricted range of motion. Knee pain, there are 2 main culprits. The first is descending as if going down an escalator, okay? Diagonally down. Weight shifts towards the front of the foot, perhaps the back heel even lifts, and now we've just put a ton of force around the knee, and it might be too much force for the knee to bear. We want to make sure, even though the angle of the torso is forward, that we descend as if going down an elevator, okay? So down and up like an elevator, not like an escalator, forward and back. The next culprit is having a torso that is just too upright, okay? Very quad dominant, especially for the back leg as well, because now instead of loading that front leg, we're getting too much load through the back leg, and that might be too much for the back knee. We've got to get that hip involved to share the load, so we need that hip hinge, okay? That's knee pain. Next is lower back pain, 2 culprits. One is descending, okay? So as we go down, we get to a point where we run out of hip flexion, and then we get that butt wink, same thing that happens in a squat. Now we've transferred all that weight or force and moved a lot of it here into the low back. We don't want to round the back. We have to know how to hip hinge and maintain that hip hinge, a nice elongated spine, so we don't round and tuck the pelvis. Then on the return, back pain occurs because we lead with the chest, okay? And we finish in open scissor posture, and we get a ton of force and compression on the back of the vertebrae. So remember what I said in the demo tutorial, we want to reverse the route on the way up. Lead with the hip, right the bucket. Then we've got hip flexor tightness, and this occurs for one main reason: the front foot is too far from the bench. We don't have that much hip extension, so if you're miles away, then we're going to dump that pelvis forward, okay? We're compensating for lack of hip extension, and then when we go down, we've got even more stress on that back hip, and we just can't handle it, right? It's very, very uncomfortable. Again, that's why we need to stand quite close to the bench, closer than most people are, and make sure that we feel that whole front foot being loaded, and that way, nothing's going to stop you. Before we wrap this video up, I want to leave you with 6 quick tips. Number 1, start with regular split squats. This is the best exercise to build your strength and stability before we add that challenge of raising the back leg, which is much harder from a stability standpoint. Number 2, master bodyweight Bulgarian split squats first. Control the tempo and get to 8 to 10 reps before you add weight. Number 3, wear barefoot or minimalist shoes or go barefoot. It's important that that front foot is connected to the ground so you're nice and stable, and that way you're going to be strong and safe. Number 4, rest between legs instead of doing both legs and then resting. The back leg's not doing nothing, and you're going to be fatigued after you do a set. So it's much better to have equal rest between legs. That way you preserve your strength, the movement quality, and you get much more out the exercise. Number 5, when ready, wear lifting straps. I would estimate this is somewhere between 25 and 50% of your body weight in each hand. That way, your grip doesn't limit how much weight you can handle. And lastly, make sure to explore other variations of Bulgarian split squats. You can do 1/1/4 reps, great for hypertrophy. You can do single arm Bulgarian split squats, great for challenging frontal plane stability. You can do deficit Bulgarian split squats, great for added range of motion. Solid programming incorporates different variations of exercises across time. That way, you're going to get the best gains possible. We're not just hammering the same exact movement pattern. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like. If you haven't subscribed already to the channel, please do. And I can't wait to see you again in the next one.